From all over the world they came. More than 2,500 athletes, 1,500 media people, and over 14,000 volunteers converged on the Seattle-Tacoma area for the 1990 Goodwill Games. The organizing committee of the Games expected to sell over 1 million tickets. Not since the 1962 World's Fair were so many people expected to journey to the Seattle area at one time. During the 15 days of the Goodwill Games, through the end of July and into August, there was major concern about the impact on traffic. The majority of the games would be held in and around the Seattle-Tacoma area. The primary roadway system to and from the Goodwill Games venues consisted of Highway 16 in Tacoma, the I-5 corridor between Tacoma and Seattle, and the I-90 and Highway 520 bridges across Lake Washington. Geographical limitations have diminished the ability to construct alternate routes to these freeways. And because of the limited choice of roads to reach individual venues, the Washington State Department of Transportation was concerned that there would be major gridlock at peak hours during the Goodwill Games. Though the actual impact of the Games on traffic was unknown, speculations ranged from a crippling impact on traffic to no one would notice the Games were even in town. But still, the challenge was to preserve the capacity of the existing highway system during the Games, as well as use the implemented mitigation as a test bed to demonstrate some creative, promising programs. So the Washington State Department of Transportation, in conjunction with the Washington State Patrol and the Federal Highway Administration, took several steps to minimize the impacts on traffic. In addition, the Goodwill Games Organizing Committee, Metro, local municipalities, the University of Washington, the Washington State Tow Truck Association, and local radio stations participated in the effort. The mitigation measures came in several forms, including advanced publicity, increased traffic reporting, and an expanded incident response program. The plan was an extensive, well-thought-out program involving substantial intra-agency participation. The State Patrol outfitted several four-wheel drive vehicles to patrol the I-5 corridor through downtown Seattle. The Service Patrol vehicles were used to push or drag disabled vehicles out of the traveled roadway, as well as to assist stranded motorists. As many as 6 Service Patrol vehicles were on the road at a time from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Troopers assisted over 50 motorists a day during the Goodwill Games, making detailed notes of every encounter. These notes, along with the State Patrol's computer-aided dispatch system, provided valuable information to determine the effectiveness of the Service Patrol program. The data indicates the Seattle Area State Patrol Service Patrols reduced the average duration of incidents by 6 minutes. This data is interesting in that there were more incidents reported this year over last year during the same period of time. In Tacoma, the DOT worked with the Washington Tow Truck Association for traffic assistance. These tow trucks patrolled Highway 16 and I-5 in and around Tacoma during the times of the Games. The tow truck patrol was designed to quickly identify traffic problems and then clear the roadway before major traffic backups could occur. This program reduced the average time to clear an incident in the Tacoma area by an average of 15 minutes while the tow trucks were in service. To assist the tow truck drivers in spotting problem areas, the DOT placed several stationary and roving observers in strategic traffic monitoring locations. Problems were reported via radio to a central dispatch, which would then quickly send help. The Department of Transportation went a step further to ensure traffic incidents would be handled quickly and efficiently. The DOT expanded its tow truck patrols on the 2 Lake Washington floating bridges. Usually, these trucks run during peak hours only, but the hours of operation were expanded throughout the day during the Games. The DOT mobilized its incident response trucks to patrol areas not being covered by the State Patrol or tow trucks. Drivers were placed on call round the clock to assist in traffic problems when needed. Their vehicles were fully equipped with any and all items necessary to aid motorists and help them on their way. This effort further helped reduce incident duration times as well as keep traffic congestion to a minimum. The DOT incorporated many other successful mitigation measures to help prevent major traffic snarls. Special signs with Goodwill Games logos clearly marked on them helped better direct motorists to the Games venues. The DOT increased its use of variable message signs to inform motorists of upcoming traffic conditions. The state's Traffic Systems Management Center, or TSMC, extended its monitoring hours into middays and weekends. The TSMC is usually in operation during weekdays only, Weekend monitoring had never been done before until the Goodwill games came to town. The TSMC also installed 40 phone lines for motorists to call for the latest traffic conditions. These phones averaged over 258 calls a day, and on July 17th, the number of calls skyrocketed to over 760. Another thing the DOT did to help alleviate traffic congestion was to restrict lane closures by contractors building along more heavily traveled routes. Metro, the Seattle Area Transit Agency, launched an enormous campaign encouraging people to ride the bus. Metro showed nearly a 10.5% increase in ridership during the games. In fact, during the first 5 days of the games, Metro received nearly 250,000 telephone calls inquiring about bus scheduling and route information. Most radio stations increased their traffic reports, updating motorists on the latest conditions. And the city of Seattle placed a traffic engineer atop the Space Needle to regulate downtown traffic. With a computer and a pair of binoculars, the engineer was able to change streetlights when traffic conditions deemed it necessary. Throughout the implementation of all of these programs, the Department of Transportation collected extensive data. 2 reports evaluating the impact of the Goodwill games on regional traffic and the effects of the mitigation measures have been prepared. Both reports indicate that the DOT's traffic assistance programs were a remarkable success. Though traffic volumes, travel times, traffic speeds, and auto occupancy had not changed, the amount of time it took to reach an incident was reduced by an average of 5 minutes. And what's even more important is that a random telephone survey conducted after the games showed the public was in high support of the traffic assistance programs. Among other things, the survey showed that 70% of the motorists noticed an increase in available traffic information. 66% noticed no change in traffic conditions during the games, and 90% supported the service patrol concept. The Goodwill Games provided a unique opportunity for the DOT to test ideas on how to alleviate major traffic congestion. The mitigation measures proved to be very effective and highly successful. And because of the success, the DOT has permanently installed traffic information phone lines and is pursuing permanent funding for service patrols as well as midday TSMC monitoring. In addition, several local radio stations have continued offering extended traffic reports, but the program was also successful because of the extensive cooperative effort involved. The teamwork in creating and performing the mitigation measures during the 1990 Goodwill Games greatly improved our traffic problems. And the new information gathered during the process will help us all find even greater solutions.